So this is the second video on rearranging equations. If you haven't seen video 1, go and check it out. But we're going to do another example of how to rearrange a different equation. So we are going to look at an equation from the electricity unit again. So we've got potential difference, which is V, equals energy divided by the charge, okay, which is Q. Now, sometimes the questions will ask you to make E the subject, or you're trying to find out what E is, and they've given you the values for potential difference and charge. So how do you rearrange the equation? Okay, so again, it's straightforward. You just need to do it step by step. So in this case, we've got a E equals divided by Q, and we do the opposite of what is happening here. So the opposite of division is multiplication. Okay, so what we're trying to do is make E the subject. So we multiply by Q, and whatever we do on this side, we do on this side. Okay, now Q is on the top here, because whatever is the same on the top and the bottom, they cancel out. So we cancel this out, and if we rewrite the equation, we've got energy is equal to V times Q, okay, or VQ. Right? Now, if we put some numbers to that, just to show this works, let's rewrite this as 2 equals 8 over 4. So I've replaced the values that the letters that I have with numbers this time. Okay, we know that 8 divided by 4 is equal to 2. If I want to make 8 the subject in a similar way to what I did up here, making E the subject, I do the opposite of what I'm doing here. So here, the opposite of division is multiplication, and whatever I do on the right hand side, I do on the left hand side. Okay, these numbers, they cancel out because they are both divisible by 4. And then if we rewrite the equation, if I'm making this the subject, 8 is equal to 2 times 4. Okay, so I want you to have a go now. Now, we know from our electricity lessons that current is the amount of charge per unit time. Okay, so what I want you to do is rearrange the equation, making Q the subject. Okay, so pause the video, have a go, and then once you've done it, unpause the video and let's go through this step by step. Okay, so hopefully you would have had a go, and what we're going to do is we want to make Q the subject. So what do? We're trying to get rid of the T on this side. Whatever we do the opposite. So here we've got division, so what we're going to do is multiply by T, and whatever we do on the right hand side, we do on the left hand side, because these are both divisible by the same character. We can cross those out because they cancel out, and if we rewrite the equation, Q is equal to I times T, or IT. Okay, so hopefully you got that correct. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our third type of rearrangement of equations. All right, so in this third one, let's use the same equation again. So we're going to start with potential difference equals energy over charge. Okay, and this time, instead of making E the subject, I want to know what Q is. Okay, so in this question, they've given you a value for the potential difference, and they've given you a value for energy. And what they want you to do is find out what Q is. Okay, and in order to do that, we have to rearrange the equation to make Q the subject. Okay, so the first thing you do is always put the values into the equation first before you rearrange the equation. Okay, that's how the exam board likes it, the AQA exam board likes it. Okay, but I'm really showing you how to rearrange the equation. So if we want to make Q the subject, we need to get rid of the Q. So how do we do that? Whatever we do here, we do the opposite, so we're doing a division. So we need to multiply by Q. And whatever we do on the right hand side, we do on the left hand side. Okay? So the Q's, they cancel out, and it's much clearer if we rewrite the equation. Otherwise it's going to get very, very messy. So let's rewrite the equation. So we've got Q times V equals E. Okay, now if you remember back to the first video of for rearranging equations, how do we get rid of the V? If I want to make Q the subject, this is what I want to know. How do I get rid of the V? Okay, so we do the opposite of multiplication, which is divide. So we divide by V, and whatever we do on the left hand side, we do on the right hand side. Okay, so what's going to happen here? The V's are going to cancel out. Okay, and if we rewrite the equation now, we've got Q equals E over V. Okay. Now, if you look back at the original equation, so I'll write it out here again. You've noticed that all we've done is we've switched these two characters here, yeah, or these two factors. So once you know how to do this and you're comfortable, in the future, if you're trying to find out what's on the bottom here, a quick and easy way is simply to flip these two around. Okay, but you first need to understand how we got to this, how we got to here from here. Okay, and just to show you again that this method works, we're going to use real numbers to put into our equation. So before we had V equals E over Q. So let's replace those letters with real numbers. So we've got 2 equals 8 over 4. So you can see that I've replaced these numbers, these letters with the numbers. Okay, right. And what I want to do is I want to do the same thing. I want to make 4 the subject, not at the bottom, but at the top. How do I do that? We multiply by 4 on this side because it's the multiplication is the opposite of division. Do the same on this side. 4's cancel out. So I'll rewrite the equation now. 4 times 2 equals 8. Okay. Now I want to get 4 on its own. So how do I do that? I get rid of the 2. So instead of multiplying, I divide. And what do I do on the left hand side? I do on the right hand side. The 2's cancel out. Rewrite the equation clearly on a different line. And 4 is indeed 8 over 2. If we divide 8 by 2, our answer is 4. Okay, so that just proves that this method works. Okay, so now it's your turn to have a go. So let's use our equation that we used before. So current is equal to charge over time. Okay, charge per unit time. So what I want you to do is make T the subject of the equation. Okay, so using the steps that I've just shown you, have a go yourself by pause the video, and once you've had a go, unpause the video, and then we can go through it together and you can see whether you've got it right or wrong. Okay, so hopefully you've had a go at rearranging this equation. So let's do this together. So I want to make t the subject. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply by t, because I'm trying to get rid of it from the bottom on that side, and whatever I do on this side, I do on this side. Okay, now the t's, they cancel out. So if we rearrange the equation, so if we rewrite the equation, we've got t times I equals q. And now I want t on its own. So I don't want the I on this side. I'm going to get rid of it by dividing, because dividing is the opposite of multiplication. Whatever I do on the left hand side, I do on the right hand side. The i's cancel out, and if I write the equation fully in its final form, t is equal to q divided by I. Okay, so hopefully you got that right. If you did, well done. If not, then go back and go through the video again and have another go, and make sure that you understand each step by step.